Good afternoon. This is All India Radio. I'm Maria Albina Michael and with me is Anuja Kumar with the Midday News. Headlines. President Ramnath Kovind expressed his concern about the security breach during Prime Minister's visit to Punjab. Punjab government constitutes a two-member high-level committee to probe the security lapses during the visit of the Prime Minister. Union Health Ministry issues revised guidelines for home isolation of mild and asymptomatic COVID-19 cases. Over 148 crore 67 lakh COVID vaccine doses administered so far under the nationwide vaccination drive. Recovery rate stands at 97.81%. 2,630 cases of Omicron reported in the country so far. Over 90,928 new cases reported in the last 24 hours. Bihar and Tamil Nadu imposed night curfew from today in the wake of the recent spurt in the COVID-19 cases. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to inaugurate the second campus of Chittaranjan National Cancer Institute in Kolkata tomorrow. IMD predicts wet spell in northwest and central India till Sunday. And in cricket, South Africa to resume their second innings at overnight score of 118 for 2 on day 4 of second test at Johannesburg. Indian squad for ICC Women's World Cup 2022 and New Zealand series announced. As India marches towards administering 150 crore vaccine doses against COVID-19, news about the new corona variant is a cause of concern. We appeal to our listeners to get fully vaccinated and help others, including children between 15 and 18 years, get vaccinated, as nationwide vaccination of teenagers is also underway now. Please continue to follow these 3 simple steps to stay safe. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki doori for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. For any COVID-related information and guidance, contact national helpline numbers 011-239-78046 and 1075. And now the news in detail. President Ramnath Kovind met Prime Minister Narendra Modi a short while ago at the Rashtrapati Bhavan today and received from him a first-hand account of the security breach in his convoy in Punjab yesterday. The President expressed his concerns about the serious lapse. Yesterday, Home Ministry took cognizance of security breach and sought report from the Punjab government. Punjab government today constituted a two-membered high-level committee to probe the security lapses during Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to Firozpur yesterday. According to an official release issued by the Punjab Chief Minister's office, the panel would comprise Justice retired Mehtab Singh Gill and the Principal Secretary of Home Affairs and Justice Anurag Verma. An official spokesman said the committee will submit its report within 3 days.
Punjab BJP President Ashwani Sharma led party delegation today met Punjab Governor Shri Banwari Lal Purohit at Raj Bhavan in Chandigarh and demanded sacking of Punjab Home Minister Sukhjinder Singh Randhawa and Punjab Director General of Police. He said they reject the committee formed to probe the security lapses during the Prime Minister's visit. Holding the Charanjit Singh Channi government squarely responsible for the gross security lapse during the Prime Minister's visit to Punjab that eventually led to cancellation of all his programs yesterday, former Punjab Chief Minister Captain Amrinder Singh has demanded dismissal of the government and imposition of President's rule in the state.
A total of 2,630 cases of Omicron have been reported in the country so far. Out of the total cases, Maharashtra has reported 797, followed by Delhi with 465, Rajasthan with 236 cases and Kerala with 234 cases. Union Health Ministry said till now 995 people have recovered from the infection. Over 148 crore 67 lakh COVID vaccine doses have been administered so far under the nationwide vaccination drive. Yesterday, over 91,25,000 doses were administered. India's active caseload currently stands at 2,85,401. The recovery rate is currently at 97.81%. More than 19,000 recovered in the last 24 hours. A total of 90,928 new cases were reported in the last 24 hours. Daily positivity rate is 6.43%. Health Ministry said 325 deaths were reported in the last 24 hours. Health Ministry today said that more than 153 crore 90 lakh vaccine doses have been provided to states and union territories so far through centres free of cost channel and through direct state procurement category. The ministry said more than 18 crore 43 lakh balance and unutilized COVID vaccine doses are still available with the states and union territories to be administered.
Delhi has witnessed a sharp rise in the COVID-19 cases in the past few days, and over 14,000 new cases are expected to report in the national capital today. Delhi Health Minister Satyendra Jain told the media that it is important that people should follow COVID-appropriate behavior. He said the city is in comfortable position in terms of hospital bed occupancy. Mr. Jain added that there is no need for lockdown right now in Delhi. The minister said no death has been reported due to Omicron in the city so far. The Union Health Ministry has issued revised guidelines for home isolation of mild and asymptomatic COVID-19 cases. As per the guidelines, the COVID patient must isolate himself from other household members, especially elderly and those with comorbid conditions. Self-monitoring of blood oxygen saturation with a pulse oximeter for the patient is advised. The patient and caregiver must seek immediate medical attention if serious signs or symptoms develop. These could include unresolved high-grade fever of more than 100 degrees Fahrenheit for more than 3 days, difficulty in breathing, dip in oxygen saturation, persistent pain in the chest, and severe fatigue and myalgia. The guidelines say the patients must be in communication with the treating medical officer and promptly report in case of any deterioration during home isolation. The ministry said for home isolation, the patients should be clinically assigned as mild or asymptomatic case by the treating medical officer, and they should have the requisite facility at their residence for self-isolation. The guidelines say that the patients under home isolation will stand discharged and end isolation at least after 7 days, have passed from testing positive and no fever for 3 successive days. There is no need for retesting after the home isolation period is over.
Director General of ICMR, Dr. Balram Bhargav said Omicron detecting RT-PCR kit has been developed in partnership with Tata MD and ICMR, and it has been approved by DCGI.
Omicron detecting RT-PCR kit has been developed in partnership with Tata MD and ICMR and has been approved by the Drug Controller General of India. This new kit will test for Omicron in 4 hours and will augment the genome sequencing efforts of the country.
Talking to AIR News, Dr. A.K. Vashne, former consultant RML Hospital, opines that the patients show mild symptom after being infected by new variant of Omicron. So nothing to worry about, but required caution should be taken.
ओमिक्रॉन वायरस से 80% के करीब मरीज को कोई सिम्टम भी नहीं है। टेस्टिंग की गई तो पॉजिटिव आ गए और जो बाकी 20% है उनमें बहुत हल्के सिम्टम पाए गए। मतलब में गले में खराश, मामूली बुखार है जैसे 100 डिग्री के करीब, सिर में दर्द, ज्यादातर ये सिम्टम थे। और उनमें जो पुराना डेल्टा था जिसमें के सूंघने की शक्ति चली जाती थी, जीभ का स्वाद चला जाता था या उल्टी दस्त लग जाते थे, और उससे भी खतरनाक ये था कि वो लंग्स में इंफेक्शन कर देता और लंग्स में इंफेक्शन करने से लोगों को सांस लेने में तकलीफ होती। वो सब ये सिम्टम ओमिक्रॉन में नहीं पाए गए, इसीलिए हर जगह ये कहा जा रहा है कि ये माइल्ड है।
Odisha government has come out with a fresh set of restrictions to break the chain of transmission, the resurgent COVID-19. These restrictions will be effective from tomorrow till the 1st of February. In view of increasing number of COVID cases, the 355th birth anniversary of Sri Guru Gobind Singh, the 10th and last Sikh Guru at Takht Sri Harmandir Sahib at Patna Sahib in Bihar, will be a simple affair this time. 3-day Prakash Parv celebrations will start from tomorrow. Nagar Kirtan has been cancelled and only 48-hour-long Akhand Path will be held from tomorrow to the 9th of this month by parties with a few Gurudwara officials amid COVID protocol. The entry of devotees will be restricted and no langar will be organized.
The Gujarat government has postponed the vibrant Gujarat Global Investor Summit 2022 due to the rise in COVID-19 cases in the state. The summit was scheduled to be held from the 10th to the 12th of this month. Prime Minister Narendra Modi was scheduled to inaugurate the summit on 10th January. According to an official release, the summit was postponed as of now in the larger interest of the people by preventing the spread of COVID-19 infections. The decision to postpone the vibrant Gujarat Summit 2022 was taken by the Chief Minister Bhupendra Patel after reviewing the overall situation of COVID-19 infections in the state. The last date for filing applications for nursery admission in private schools in Delhi has been extended for further 2 weeks. In a tweet, Delhi Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia said the decision has been taken in view of the prevailing COVID-19 conditions. Earlier, the last date for submission of application forms for the entry-level classes of nursery, KG and Class 1 was the 7th of this month.
In view of the curfew to be imposed in the national capital in the coming weekend, on the 8th and 9th of January, the Delhi Metro train services will be available at a frequency of 15 minutes on the Yellow Line and Blue Line. Delhi Metro Rail Corporation in a statement said that on all other lines, metro trains will be available at a frequency of 20 minutes during the weekend curfew. It said for the rest of the weekdays, from Monday to Friday, metro services will continue to remain available as usual. The DMRC has reiterated that as per the latest guidelines, though 100% sitting is allowed in metro trains, but no standing passenger is permitted. The Himachal Pradesh Cabinet has decided to put some restrictions in the wake of increasing number of COVID-19 cases in the state. The Cabinet decided to impose night curfew from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. across the state, besides closing indoor sports complexes, cinema halls, multiplexes, stadia, swimming pools, gyms and langars in the state. In Bihar, night curfew will come into effect from today from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. in the wake of the recent spurt in the COVID-19 cases. The night curfew will remain in force till the 21st of this month. However, essential activities will be permitted during these hours. All shops and business establishments will remain open only till 8 p.m. Schools up to Class 8 will remain closed till 21st of January. The Tamil Nadu government has also announced night curfew in the state from today. Night curfew will be in place from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. According to the latest guidelines, transport services and other essential services like ATM, petrol pumps, vehicles carrying LPG, newspaper, milk and pharmaceuticals will be allowed to function at night.
In Telangana, the public health authorities today informed that Omicron cases will not be separately declared from now as the virus variant has already been to community. Addressing a press conference in Hyderabad a short while ago, Director Public Health Dr. Srinivas Rao said there is no use in testing Omicron variant as about 70% of cases are now being reported in the state are Omicron. He urged the political parties not to take up any program publicly for the next 4 weeks and also urged people to play caution and prevent spread of virus. It may be recalled that over 1,500 cases have been reported during the last 24 hours and surge in new COVID-19 cases is continuing in the state. The Assam government has intensified vigil to contain the COVID-19 situation in the state following the report of the first Omicron case yesterday. Assam has reported its first Omicron case after a Saudi Arabia returnee was found to be an Omicron patient. Health Minister Keshab Mahanta is likely to announce a new SOP for the state by evening. The Health Minister said that all steps are being taken, including upgrading of infrastructure to contain the situation. Meanwhile, 2.95 lakh teenagers have got the first jab of vaccines till last report came in across the state.
In a bilingual live phone-in program, Corona Jagrukta series, Phone In with public, Dr. Balbir Singh of Max Hospital, Saket in Delhi will be with us tonight to answer the queries related to coronavirus. Listeners can ask questions to the expert from 9:30 p.m. on telephone number 011-2342-1230 and 011-2342-1764. You can also post your queries on our Twitter handle at EIR News Alerts by hashtag AskEIR. This live program can be heard on FM Gold channel and additional frequencies from 9:30 p.m. onwards. This program will also be available on our website, newsonair.gov.in, and YouTube channel, News on AIR Official. You are listening to the Midday News on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. President Ramnath Kovind expresses concern about the security breach during the Prime Minister's visit to Punjab. Punjab government constitutes a two-member high-level committee to probe the security lapses during the visit of Prime Minister. Union Health Ministry issues revised guidelines for home isolation of mild and asymptomatic COVID-19 cases. Over 148 crore 67 lakh COVID vaccine doses administered so far under nationwide vaccination drive. Recovery rate stands at 97.81%. 2,630 cases of Omicron reported in the country so far. Over 90,928 new cases reported in the last 24 hours. Bihar and Tamil Nadu impose night curfew from today in the wake of the recent spurt in the COVID-19 cases. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to inaugurate the second campus of Chittaranjan National Cancer Institute in Kolkata tomorrow. IMD predicts wet spell in northwest and central India till Sunday. And in cricket, South Africa to resume the second innings at an overnight score of 118 for 2 on day 4 of second test at Johannesburg. Indian squad for ICC Women's World Cup 2022 and New Zealand series announced. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
चलो मिलकर एक शुरुआत करें, चलो एक फैसला आज करें, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे, चलो एक इरादा करते हैं, चलो खुद से वादा करते हैं, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will inaugurate the second campus of Chittaranjan National Cancer Institute Cnci in Kolkata tomorrow via video conferencing. The second campus of Cnci has been built in line with the Prime Minister's vision to expand and upgrade the health facilities in all parts of the country. Cnci was facing a heavy load of cancer patients and the need for expansion was being felt for some time. This need will be fulfilled through the second campus. The second campus of Cnci has been built at a cost of 530 crore rupees, out of which around 400 crore rupees have been provided by the Union government and rest by the West Bengal government. The campus is a 460-bedded comprehensive cancer center unit with cutting-edge infrastructure for cancer diagnosis, staging, treatment and care. The Union Minister Amit Shah will inaugurate and lay foundation stones for 29 development projects worth 2,450 crore rupees in Manipur this afternoon through video conferencing in a short while from now. The event will be held at Imphal, in which Manipur Chief Minister N. Biren Singh and state ministers will also be present. The projects consist of diverse sectors. Yesterday, the Election Commission of India also reviewed the preparedness for election in Manipur state. The Chief Election Commissioner, Sushil Chandra, along with 2 election commissioners, discussed the preparedness with Chief Secretary, DGP, and top officials of Manipur. ECI has instructed state officials to ramp up COVID vaccination and ensure smooth, free and fair election in the state. The country election body also took stock of logistics, budget, law and order and other during the review meeting held through video conferencing. The representatives of political parties also attended the meeting. The term of current 11th Manipur Legislative Assembly is due to expire on the 19th of March 2022 and elections are scheduled for 60 assembly constituencies.
Tamil Nadu Assembly today paid condolences to General Bipin Rawat and the others killed in the helicopter accident in Nilgiri's actor Puneeth Rajkumar, human rights activist Desmond Tutu and former MLAs who passed away recently. The question hour session was broadcast live for the first time in the history of the state. Chief Minister M.K. Stalin has called an all-party meet on the 8th of this month to discuss the issue of NEET. And now let's listen to our special program, Azadi Ka Safar, highlighting the importance of the day during the freedom struggle.
आजादी का अमृत महोत्सव।
Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News, Birth of a Nation.
India's glorious freedom struggle is one of the greatest struggles the modern world has ever witnessed. AIR News brings you a glimpse of the struggle every day.
निज भाषा उन्नति है सब उन्नति को मूल बिन निज भाषा ज्ञान के मिटत न ही को सूल.
In today's episode, we remember nationalist, the father of Hindi literature and Hindi theatre, Bharatendu Harishchandra, who died on the 6th of January 1885.
अंग्रेजी पढ़ी के जदपि सब गुण होत प्रवीण पैनिज भाषा ज्ञान बिन रहत हीन के हीन.
Bharatendu was barely 7 years old when the First War of Independence of 1857 took place, which left a deep impression on young Harishchandra.
Bharatendu was a precursor to the Hindi Renaissance. He was the man behind what is known as the Hindi vernacular nationalism and the driving force behind the mass movement that culminated in the popular slogan, Hindi, Hindu, Hindustan.
उन्नति पूरी है तभी जब घर उन्नति होए निज शरीर उन्नति किए रहत मूड सब कोए.
His journals were vociferous in their critique of the oppressive policies of the British government.
Harishchandra represented the agonies of the people, the country's poverty, dependency, inhuman exploitation, the unrest of the middle class, and the urge for the progress of the country. His play, Andher Nagri Chaupat Raja, Takeser Bhaji Takeser Khaja, is a satire on the irrational and autocratic British government system.
Bharatendu used new media, especially publications, to shape public opinion. He launched the first Hindi movement in the country. Written in Khadi Boli, his plays, poems, prose and journals were widely distributed across North India.
निज भाषा उन्नति बिना कबहू न होए होए सोए लाख उपाय अनेक यूं भले किरे किन कोए.
The status of Khadi Boli, thought of as an inferior dialect, was elevated as Bharatendu's journals reached the reading public in the country.
एक भाषा एक जीव एक मति सब घर के लोग तबे बनत है सबन सो मिटत मूर्ता सो.
The Ministry of Information and Broadcasting of India has been giving the Bharatendu Harishchandra Award since 1983 to promote original writings in Hindi mass communication. We salute the great Indian nationalist.
We also remember playwright Vijay Dhundopanta Tendulkar, who was born on the 6th of January 1928 in Kolhapur, Maharashtra. He participated in the 1942 Indian freedom movement at the age of 14 years, leaving his studies. He is considered as a leading fighter for cultural freedom through his plays, movie and television screenplays and journalism, primarily in Marathi language. Tendulkar grew up watching plays, and at age 11, he wrote, directed and acted in his first play. He is best known for his plays Shantata, Korta Chalu Ahe, Ghashiram Kotwal and Sakharam Binder. Thematically, his plays have ranged from the alienation of the modern individual to contemporary politics, from socio-individual tensions to the complexities of human character, from the exploration of man-woman relationships to reinterpretations of historical episodes.
Many of his plays derived inspiration from real-life incidents or social upheavals, which provides clear light on harsh realities. He is the recipient of many prestigious awards. We salute the great man.
also remember 3 residents of Barka, district Gurgaon, Haryana. Khushiram, son of Chandu Meo, Amir, son of Mubarak Meo, and Ranbaz Meo, son of Malkhan Meo, who took part in the First War of Indian Independence of 1857. They were arrested by the British authorities, tried for sedition and sentenced to death, martyred on the 6th of January 1858. We salute the great sons of the soil.
That brings us to the end of this episode of Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. See you in the next episode tomorrow.
Best wishes to all consumers for Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. Hallmark ensures purity of gold. Always purchase Hallmark gold jewellery. For any consumer-related complaints, please contact National Consumer Helpline's toll-free number 14404, issued in public interest by Department of Consumer Affairs, Government of India, Jago Grahak Jago.
The India Meteorological Department predicted a wet spell over northwest India, including Delhi, NCR, Punjab and Haryana and central India till the 9th of January due to 2 consecutive active western disturbances. It, however, said there may not be cold wave conditions over North India during the next 5 days. The IMD also predicted the possibility of isolated heavy rainfall over Punjab and Haryana and Chandigarh on Saturday, and isolated thunderstorm activity accompanied with hailstorms over Madhya Pradesh on Saturday, Sunday and over Vidarbha on Sunday. The number 1 men's tennis player Novak Djokovic was told to leave the country following 10-hour standoff with government officials at Melbourne Airport, ending his chance to defend his Australian Open title. He travelled on Wednesday from Dubai to Australia to participate in Australian Open Single Championships.
In cricket, rain delayed the start of 4th day's play. South Africa will resume their second innings at the overnight score of 118 for 2 on day 4 today to chase the 240-run target set by India in the second test at Johannesburg. In their first innings, South Africa posted 229 runs while India scored 202 runs. The BCCI today announced Indian women's squad for ICC Women's World Cup 2022 and the New Zealand series. Mithali Raj will lead the 15-member squad with Harmanpreet Kaur named as her deputy for the World Cup. The other players are Smriti Mandhana, Shafali Verma, Yastika Bhatia, Deepti Sharma, Richa Ghosh as wicket-keeper, Sneh Rana, Jhulan Goswami, Pooja Vastarkar, Meghna Singh, Renuka Singh Thakur, Tanya Bhatia as wicket-keeper, Rajeshwari Gaikwad and Poonam Yadav. Standby players are Sabineni Meghna, Ekta Bisht and Simrandil Bahadur.
And now let us take a look at the weather update for the day. The national capital Delhi is experiencing shallow fog. It recorded a minimum temperature of 12 degrees Celsius while the maximum will be around 20 degrees. Mumbai is likely to have partly cloudy sky. It noted a minimum temperature of 22 degrees Celsius while the maximum is expected to be around 32 degrees. Chennai is likely to have partly cloudy sky. The temperature will vary between 21 and 29 degrees Celsius. Kolkata will have mainly clear sky. The city noted a minimum temperature of 12 degrees Celsius while maximum is expected to be around 23 degrees. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. President Ram Nath Kovind expresses concern about the security breach during Prime Minister's visit to Punjab. Punjab government constitutes a 2-member high-level committee to probe the security lapses during the visit of the Prime Minister. Union Health Ministry issues revised guidelines for home isolation of mild and asymptomatic COVID-19 cases. Over 148 crore 67 lakh COVID vaccine doses administered so far under nationwide vaccination drive. Recovery rate stands at 97.81. 2,630 cases of Omicron reported in the country so far. Over 90,928 new cases reported in the last 24 hours. Bihar and Tamil Nadu imposed night curfew from today in the wake of the recent spurt in the COVID-19 cases. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to inaugurate the second campus of Chittaranjan National Cancer Institute in Kolkata tomorrow. IMD predicts wet spell in northwest and central India till Sunday. And with that, we end the midday news.